All right, we're going to call this study session to order. Can we please have a roll call?
Yes, you may. Councilmember Kelly.
Here.
Councilmember McCafferty.
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong.
Here.
Councilmember Garneal.
Here.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here.
And our town attorney is present tonight.
All right. Item 2, discussion regarding submitting a ballot item to the voters, whether to change a term of mayor from 2 to 4 years. Aaron.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. So Mayor Miller and staff would like to discuss with the council the possibility of amending our current mayor's term from 2 years to 4 years. The 2-year term for office of mayor for the town of Chino Valley has been in existence since 1984, and that was done by ordinance number 48. Our current town code 30.001B states the term of office of the mayor shall be 2 years. So should the town wish to amend this section, the item must first go before the qualified voters of Chino Valley. We as a town are already preparing to hold a special election in November of next year with 2 items. One of them is going to be the general plan update, and then the second is the sale of land at Old Home Manor. So if the council wishes, we could also add that 3rd item to the ballot. I don't know, Mayor, if you wanted to take over and a little more information or.
I kind of brought this issue up because you run for office, you get elected, and you got to learn your office, your seat, what you got to do, how you got to do what you got to do, and who you got to talk to. And by the time you do that, it's time to start running again. And then you run again, and then you either are or are not, and you got things started. So a 4-year term would be, in my opinion, better than a 2-year term. And that's what it's all about. You got something to say?
Yeah, Mayor, thank you. And it should be noted that that wouldn't apply until the next cycle.
Correct.
So you wouldn't automatically be put into a 4-year term now. It would apply after the next election.
After the next election.
So
I know, cool. Exactly.
we would be looking at 2024.
Correct.
I agree with Mayor Miller in regards to even on as a council member, once you get a 2-year term, you're barely getting your feet wet before you have to either run again. It's hard learning your job in such short time and to get those projects in the works. I would be in support of it. I don't know who would sign up for it, but I'd be in support of it.
Thanks.
All of our council positions are currently 4-year terms, are they not?
Council is 4, mayor's the only one that is a 2-year term.
So in my mind, it just doesn't make sense. The mayor's not a 4-year term. You know, if every one of us, except for him or her in the future is 4, why shouldn't the mayor be a 4-year term?
Yeah, and I agree, but I also want you to understand that this is a choice of the people. You know, it's up to us to put it on the ballot. So
Right. I understand that.
Put it on the ballot.
I took the liberty to call our past Mayor Croft and ask him what he thought. And he agreed to it. So I'm going with him.
No bias.
Agree. 2 years is too short. Let's go 4 years.
Okay.
Let the people
I
decide.
agree with the same theory. You're just getting the feel of how you wear those shoes, that boots, what the rules are, blah, 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 and bang, you got to get back into the recycle. Whereas a 4-year term will give you a chance to learn and then move forward.
That was easy.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? Tom, you got anything to say?
No, put it on the ballot.
Okay. All right, then item 3 is presentation discussion on housing factors impacting recruitment and retention and how those items might be addressed through the town-sponsored workforce housing initiative. It says Laura, and she's there, and
Chief.
There you go.
She must feel threatened.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. So we're just going to do a quick presentation on employee for workforce housing and the needs for it. So in recent years, we've experienced more challenges in recruiting staff and in some cases, retaining staff than we have in the past. And we attribute it to 3 primary reasons: pay, labor force, and housing. That is I guess what we call the perfect storm. So we're going to just touch on these 3 items very quickly. And also we want to give you a quick overview of turnover and the cost associated with turnover and why we need to control it. So this first slide talks about pay in our area. And this is actually from the 2020 US Census. It kind of gives you an overview of the median household income in our area and similar areas. We are, I think this states we're the sixth lowest of these areas listed. So we're quite low. And the average annual weekly wage from the US Census, 2020 US Census, I realize it's a couple years old, but it's still a trend that is current. US average weekly wage is $1,298. Maricopa is $1,178. Yavapai County is $1,025. And I pulled our average weekly wage from Town of Chino Valley staff, non-exempt staff, and we're currently at $948. So to address this, we are actively going through a compensation and classification study to make sure that we match our region in the way of pay. We're not looking to lag the market or lead the market. We're just looking to match the region, because when you take pay off the table and you provide a fair wage, then it's everything else that you do that makes them want to stay. Okay. So the next issue that we're faced with is the labor force. This gives you an overview of our population and our age demographics in the area. Chino Valley's population is 13,020, and the typical age range for our workforce is between 18 and 64 years of age. That's 56% of the population, but not everybody in that range is in the workforce. For the Tri-City population, 41% of the Tri-City population makes up the region's workforce, whereas 62% of the US population makes up the actual workforce. So that doesn't mean, so when I'm looking at the age range, sorry, between 18 and 64, that is 56%, but again, it's not everybody in that range is working. So in the next slide, this gives you a quick overview of demographics. US median age is 38.1, Arizona is 37.9, and the Tri-City median age in this area is 51.7. So retirees actually make up the largest demographic in this region. And what that means is we have a smaller candidate pool for this area. So we actually have to recruit externally on top of internally to improve our candidate pool. And that brings us to our next challenge, which is housing. Not just affordable housing, but available housing has become a growing concern in the region, and it indirectly affects the town's ability to recruit and retain staff. This PowerPoint slide will give you an overview of average sale prices for the listed cities and towns and the median sale price. So they're quite high. And as an example, the maximum buying power for somebody who makes $65,500 is a maximum of $275,000. And that's assuming an FHA loan with 3.5% down. So in a previous slide, I think it was a couple slides earlier, I had mentioned that the average median income for a family in Chino Valley or a home is around $46,000. So this will give you an overview of available inventory with regards to housing in our area. Chino Valley, I've broken it down into two segments, under $300,000 and between $300,000 and $500,000. Chino Valley, and you can see the list. I pulled this actually from Zillow yesterday, and it includes houses, townhomes, condos, and manufactured homes. So Chino has 18 houses available under 300,000 and 22 between 300 and 500. Dewey Humboldt has 3 under 300,000 and 10 between 300 and 500. Prescott has 36 under 300,000 and 68 between 300 and 500. Prescott Valley has 23 under 300 and 126 between 300 and 500,000. While availability does seem to be going up, the prices of homes are not coming down and the interest rates are still quite high. They range anywhere between 6.5% and 7.5%. And for every percent interest rate increases, a buyer's purchasing power decreases by 10%. So the challenge is, as a summary, it's your pay, it's your candidate pool, and your housing availability. We're addressing pay. We realize that we have to utilize the external market to expand our candidate pool. So the last issue is housing availability. And that's what we're trying to solve, that piece of the puzzle. I wanted to also give you a quick overview of turnover rate and costs because it's quite expensive when you have high turnover. Government average for 2021 turnover was 18%. City of Prescott, they reported that their turnover was 16% on October 25th in a study session. Our turnover rate was 5.7% last fiscal year. As of July 1st of this year, our turnover rate is already at 10.9% to date. And all of those people who have left us, they are non-exempt and or frontline staff. Whenever we meet with an employee, when they leave, we meet with them to do an exit interview. And 66% mention better pay or better career opportunities as all are part of their decision to resign. We've experienced turnover in the police department. We've had the highest turnover in the police department. Public Works, the facilities, parks and roads departments, administration, animal control, development services, courts, and utilities. So even though our turnover is much less than other entities in our region, it still has a cost associated with it. And this kind of gives you just a quick overview of that cost. Turnover cost includes expenses like recruitment, orientation, training, lost knowledge, burnout, depleted morale, loss of productivity, things like that. This will give you an example of what it could cost and what it does cost to actually replace someone who is left. So if somebody, a full-time benefited employee making $45,000 a year leaves, and it takes us 90 days to replace that position, which is very common. 3 months is a common turnover timeframe. It could cost us $24,000 to replace that individual. Now multiply that by the 12 people that we've lost as of July 1st, and you're looking at $288,000. And the turnover in the police department is substantially higher. And I'll let the chief talk to that, but it exceeds even that.
Mayor and council. Yeah, with the officers, it's a little different than a lot of jobs because of the requirements of the state for the certification and the training. So as an example, we're putting 2 people in the academy that starts January 9th. We started the advertising hiring process back in August. So they'll be onboarded here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. They'll start the academy, which is 21 weeks-ish. And then they come out and they go through a 16-week field training. And there's a couple other weeks in there that they do some stuff in between the academy and the field training. So basically those people that I started with in August with the hiring process, they won't be solo on the street until about this time next year, probably October. So we're paying them that whole time. And then, that cost starts the minute we start to advertise. One of the reasons we're talking about housing is you see there's a lot of reduced cost if we're able to hire a lateral officer versus a brand new officer. But what we're running into is the pond we're fishing in with Prescott Valley and the county is getting dried up. We're just running out of people here. We don't have a large group of people, in the right age group that we're looking for that actually want to be police officers. So I need to start deep sea fishing in some other places to try to bring some folks in. But what we're running into is they can't afford a house here. There just isn't anything affordable for them. So part of what we've been looking at as a group with town staff is, what can we do to address some transitional housing? So, when we advertise out of our area, we can advertise that we have that available. And I think that will break down one of the biggest barriers we're having right now in recruiting. I'd like to have 3 in the academy, and I can't even get that 3rd person right now. We had 3 people show up for a testing. We tried to do another testing One no-showed, ghosted us, and the other one didn't pass. So it's just getting really, really, really difficult. So I think this is a hurdle. If we could help get people here, once they're here, they love us and they'll stay, but we got to get them in the door first.
And that's it. That's actually all we have for you.
So I guess the discussion tonight, we've met with Cindy and staff to discuss some options for this. Obviously, there's some cost involved, and Mr. Duffy's been involved in the conversations as well. But is it something you want us to continue, working towards to bring you some more options and some actual costs and estimates and things like that?
Oh, sir.
What is the outline of this, of the housing? Is it going to be designed to be temporary?
Yes, sir. It'd be a transitional housing.
Okay,
Something the town owns that we could rent at market rate, but at least we'd have some availability of 4 or 5 or 6 units so that the person could move here. They have time to look for a home, or if they're going to build a home, things like that. But it's just to give them the opportunity to come to the community, start their job, and then not be stressed or pressured to try to find a home right away.
okay. And do you have an idea of what kind of timeline you're looking at?
Yesterday.
No. I'm talking about how long
long
they
they-
would,
Yeah,
they would
Mayor-
be able to be in this transitional housing.
I think Cindy has an answer
Yeah,
for that.
Mayor, and council members. So that is kind of why we're here before you tonight, because we've put some preliminary work into it. And look what other cities and towns are doing, because they are doing it. And if they're not doing it now, they're looking at trying to do it. But like I said, it's preliminary. There's so many different models out there and different ways to do it. But before we move forward and bring you some real good options, put resources into it, we wanted to make sure that that was something you wanted us to continue to look at. So I don't think we have any good detailed answers for you tonight. We have our ideas how we'd kind of like to see that. But to make it transitional housing, perhaps it's on our own land. But there's different models out there that we can look at. So we just wanted to see if we have your support in that.
Well, my first thought as I'm listening to you talk is I get what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. Every service business in this country is in the same boat. I wish I had 3 rental houses that I could offer new employees coming here to live in so that they could come here and go to work for me. But they too are having the same problem. If they live in Whitman, they can rent a house for X. They come to Chino Valley, they can't rent a house. And so it's the world we live in right now. But I'd be open to seeing what you come up with.
John, why don't you give your opinion, please?
No, the school district is exploring the 3D homes, the printer homes. Is that what the name is? Yeah, you have it through Yavapai College.
Mayor, council, I know they are looking at some housing options. I haven't heard that they were doing the 3D. I've heard maybe
They
more of
had
a
some issues. I
manufactured-
think
The-
they were starting it out at the college,
The
but
college, yeah.
they
Yeah, they
had
couldn't-
some issues. I don't think it's moving
think
forward
they
as
could.
fast as they wanted it to.
Right, because to me, that seems like something maybe we might be able to piggyback on if that is actually going forward.
Mayor, council, and again, that is an option we will explore. We have reached out to them and talked to them before. I just don't think that they're that far along yet, but we would definitely reach out to them.
I just feel yes, continue with the program or not, get us some more information and we'll go from there, in my opinion.
I think we kind of have to go along with it to do something. Otherwise, one of these days, we're gonna look up with no teachers and no cops.
Facts.
And then what happens? I don't want to be here when that happens. We'll continue to look, come up with ideas, throw them around, ask everybody, see what we can do.
I agree.
My only concern, chief, is at $65,000 salary, $275,000 house, they can afford. Those days are long gone of a $275,000 house. So if they're staying there, where are they going to move to? After,
Yeah, that's part of the challenge. We're hoping that eventually the market, the pendulum is going to swing back and hopefully things will
set them
improve.
up for failure. I mean, they're going to come, they're going to move all their family here and then where they're gonna go.
Yeah,
How
I mean,
long is the
that's, we,
housing
we
for?
need some multifamily housing. We need apartments. We need things like that because we're losing people to Prescott Valley because they
We
have
need what?
multifamily housing, apartments and things. We don't have that here. And we pay the same basically as Prescott Valley. So if you're coming from another state and the pay's the same at either department, but you've got housing available in one place and not in another, I mean, it just makes sense to go where the housing is. So we're hoping that we're buying some time for them because a lot of my guys that have come from out of state, honestly, they come here because they have family here. And I've got grown folks with kids living with their parents, you know, until something comes available. And one of the best things, you know, for them is once they're out on the street, the best way to find something around here is word of mouth. You know, you find out about it before it ever goes on the market, whether it's a rental or to buy. So some of these guys have been able to come here, meet people and get the word out there looking, and they found housing that way. So we're just trying to buy them that time to do that research and hopefully find something.
And from them living here in town, is there any restrictions? I mean, they can go to Paulden, or you prefer them living in
As
town?
long as they can show up for work on time, they can live in China. I mean, we're not restricting them whatsoever. So yeah, as long as they can get to work.
The heck of a commute.
Quickly.
And then the same problems going on at the school district. They're looking at some possible places where people will build some and have them available for future teachers, because same thing we've said, can't afford to live here at what they're getting paid. Same thing goes out at the college. They're building under the new computerized thing, the concept of building some houses for what we're speaking of, but they're having a little bit of computer development because it's the leading edge of that new technology, computer generated stuff is they're having some issues with it.
Okay, you got your answers? You got an answer? All right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to be adjourned from the study session and we'll be back at 6 for the regular meeting. Thank you.
Vice Mayor and Mayor, right here, hand out their certificate and investment health. And then afterwards, we'll have you guys come back and stand back here.
Cindy, whatever you want.
And Mayor, she was requesting.
Yeah, right.
Welcome, everyone.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't. I got what you're not. I was not. I didn't say that.
Okay, here we go. 6:01, please ride for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic and one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah. May we please have roll call?
Yes, you may. Councilmember Kelly,
Present.
Councilmember Turner,
Here.
Councilmember McCafferty,
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Here.
Councilmember Grunio.
Here.
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Here.
Mayor Miller,
Here.
and Town Attorney McGuire is here present.
All right, introduction, presentations, proclamations, graduating presentation for the 2022 Citizens Academy with Terry Denemy.
Yeah.
Come on. We're gonna do-
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. As you know, several of you you were there at the first session. I think about everybody was there. And then throughout the 6 weeks of the Citizens Academy, you got to see some of the sessions. Well, we have completed the 6 weeks academy. There were 6 sessions in the Citizens Academy, and through those 6 sessions, every department and division had an opportunity to present and talk to. We had 21, and many of them are here with us tonight, and you will get to meet them individually, that came to learn about city government, town government, how we operate, and how our services are delivered. Most people know you flush a toilet or you turn on or a faucet, and that's it. And they get to learn everything that goes into making that safe product come to their door, whether it's streets, roads, public services, public safety, or even the community center, the senior center. So there were 6 sessions. It was an opportunity that staff was enthused about, where they were very proud to present the things that they do and talk about what they do on a daily basis and how much they care and how meaningful it is to them. So that was our motivation in doing that. But what we found is we had an incredibly engaged group, individuals, citizens and business owners that came that really wanted to learn about their town and how it functions and how those services are delivered and how those decisions are made, the choices that you're each faced with on a day-to-day basis. And they were incredibly engaged. They had questions. We found that there was never enough time. And we ended up, it was supposed to be 5 sessions and we moved it to 6 just for that reason. So we had time for that engagement. We also had facility tours. They got to go through the library and learn all the services that are offered there. They went to the wastewater facility and learned how that treatment process and the injection process worked. And then they got to go to the new police building and see what's coming and how the services will be enhanced with that new facility. And so, as now that they were with us for 6 weeks, we are going to have a graduation ceremony. They are officially graduating from the Citizens Academy. And they will receive official Citizens Academy pin that you can wear proudly, and know that you were part of the Citizens Academy. And what the certificate says: for successful completion of the Town of Chino Valley Citizens Academy, a comprehensive 6-week hands-on interactive inside look at all aspects of Town of Chino Valley governance and operation. Informed and engaged citizenry is essential to effective town governance. Your active participation in this program and engagement with the material and staff is to be commended. We salute your citizenship and your commitment to our community and its bright future. So with that, I'm going to ask Town Manager. We're ready. Oh, yes. You want to do that first? Have her speak. We've asked that that we had several people that volunteered, but we wanted at least one person from the academy to present and talk with you a little bit about their experience. So Kathy. Thank you for volunteering.
Well, I'm really kind of speaking for the whole group that went through the academy. But first, I want to thank the mayor, the council people, the planning commission, and all of the wonderful staff. I mean, I worked for 35 years, and this staff really gave everything. They presented well. Their PowerPoints were wonderful. The tours were beyond what I imagination, the wastewater plant, learning about the technology out there. It was really, really wonderful. There's a lot of hard work that I recognize that goes into this kind of a thing. And the books that we got, we learned so much more than I think we thought we were going to learn. It was very packed. And in my little brochure, back to you. I suggested this go to 8 weeks because it just seemed like it was, some of it was kind of jam packed where we had so many more questions. And I really want to thank the town for taking the time to do that. So I'm excited for the future, and I'm really, really pleased with how this town functions and the camaraderie within the town. And I'm sure my whole group feels the same way. So thank you very much for all of your time, took all your hours away from your personal time and work, and we appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, we're going to have a formal graduation ceremony. The mayor will be giving out certificates, the vice mayor, the pins, and we're asking all of the council to come down and have a little reception line so that they can congratulate you and thank you for your time commitment. And our town manager is going to read through those.
So as I call your name, if you could please come up and get your certificate and your pin. And then right after that, we'd like for you to come as a group down front to take a photo. We'll have the council behind you up here. Start with the mayor. All right. And with that, our first graduate, Donna Armstrong. And next we have Jan Barron. And next we have Kim Douglas.
Oh, and Kim is not here.
Oh, she couldn't be here with us tonight. Adam Fairchild.
And the Fairchild family.
And actually, we had a great family come out all together. So it was Adam, his wife Chloe, and then their son Virgil, who was our youngest member. If you don't count the little baby, he came sometimes too. And next we have Rachel Furnow. And next, Christina McConnell. And next is Kathy Middlestad. Thank you. And Darby Middleton. Would Darby make it? Darby tonight. And next we have Gonzalo Penta. I'm gonna mess it up. Pantoya. And next we have Ron Penn. I know I got that one. All right. And next we have Steve Stokes. and James Wallace and his wife Martha Wallace. We also had two of our council member elects go through the program. Sherry Phillips, council member elect, and Bob Shacker, council member elect. And so these last fews were actually members from our business community. So Robin Rupert. From Robin Rupert Notary. Yeah, I guess so. And we have Crystal Patton from Icor Airsoft. And we had Rob Valenzuela from Insurgent Brewing. All right. And sorry, Mark, if I don't get your last name right, Mark Bateri from Earthworks Landscaping and Supply.
Great job. We didn't do it. Yeah.
All right, if you want to come back up and pose for our photo. Council to get behind up here. That way we can get you all in the picture. I don't know, I'm kind of designing the plane here. Oh.
He's a Phoenix. Gotta go for the week. Did they replace him with that? Did they replace him with the lady in the black? Oh, no. Right.
Smile, everybody.
Three. Yeah, I'm fishing about that.
Safety first,
Oh, okay.
both of you.
Associate approved platform.
All right, we're good?
Thank you.
Thought there was supposed to be music.
In the black.
Yeah, get that to me before you leave.
But those fang from camera together.
Yes, but the survey.
Then not put on camera.
Happens here.
They are convenient.
It's supposed to be available for autographs after.
No, but.
There you go.
At least from my ears.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I want to get back.
Okay, we're gonna give them just a minute to let the ones that want to leave can leave.
Yeah. Hey,
No, I can do this. Right.
All right, here we go. Item B, introduction and presentation of Town of Chino Valley new employee hires. Laura K.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. So the last time I was before you for new hire presentation was back in April. The last couple presentations we did virtually because we wanted a social distance. So we thought it would be okay to invite new hires to council so you can officially meet them. So we gave them the option to attend in person, but we also have them listed on the PowerPoint presentation. So it's a combination. But if you are a new hire and you want to come up with me, if you want to join me, I'm going to go through the presentation and I'd like you to just come up. So McKenna, Tracy, I think we have a few. So we have a combo. So I'm going to start from the hires, the hire that happened earliest on in the year to present. I'm going to start out with Frank Snoney. I don't think Frank is here. He is a maintenance worker in our Public Works Department Parks team. He actually started with the town on May 16th as a temporary employee, and we were lucky enough to bring him on as a regular employee on September 19th. So he's an official member of our team as of September 19th, full-time regular. McKenna is, oh, McKenna right here. She is currently an adoption specialist, but as of today, she was hired on August 10th of 2022 in the animal control department, but officially as of today, she was offered a position as an animal control officer effective December 25th of this year. So we're really excited for her promotion. And that's a great picture. Tracy DeShiel, she's a code enforcement officer. Tracy is right here. Her date of hire was August 29th, 2022. They're hiding behind me. And she is in the Development Services Department. And I want to say that you were with Prescott Valley for a period of time and Yavapai County and decided to join our team. So we're really excited about that. Andrea Mixon is a police officer. She is right here with us. Her hire date was September 6th, and she officially became a certified officer in the state of Arizona, police officer, on October 12th. So she is going through her FTO training with Officer Zemansky, and that's what, a few months? And then you're on your own. Trenton Douglas is a maintenance mechanic in our utilities department. I do not believe he joined us tonight, but his date of hire was October 17th. And on that very same day, Cody Snow also came on board in the utilities department as a maintenance technician, and they both joined us from the city of Prescott. So, and our final hire was on October 24th, Isabel Macias, and she's a custodian in our facilities department. So thank you so much, and I appreciate your time.
Welcome. Item 3, call to the public. Call the public is at the discretion of council and not required by state law. It is an opportunity for the public to bring items of concern to the council. Each person is allowed 3 minutes to state their issues. The passing of time from one person to another will not be allowed. This is consistent with all the Quad City government bodies. Council will not respond to questions asked, but may refer the issue to the town manager for further review. We will follow state law while conducting call to the public. Disrespectful behavior will not be tolerated. This includes loud outbursts, profanity, and disruptive private discussions among our audience. If you need to have a private discussion, please step outside. Violations of these protocols may result in expulsion from the meeting. Aaron, do we have anybody turning a card?
We do, and I would just like to remind the public that the total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes for each meeting. First one we have is Kathy Middlestead.
Okay, wearing a different hat. Kathy Middlestead, citizen of Chino Valley. Earlier in the last couple days, one of our citizens posted on the next door neighborhood webpage encouraging people to come to this meeting to ask the town council to remove ordinance 4.9.1. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to read just that section. No travel trailer, motor home, recreational vehicle, or boat stored on residentially zoned parcels or lots shall be made suitable for on-site occupancy unless permitted in the specific zoning regulation. Evidence of an on-site residency shall consist of at least 3 of the following conditions, and it lists about 5 or 6 conditions. I'm not for removing this ordinance. We have zoning regulations for a reason. So we have nice neighborhoods and not travel trailers everywhere and stuff like that, and people not living in a home. I don't think travel trailers or recreational vehicles or a motorhome is for full-time residency. So I encourage the council, should anyone bring this forward to you, I'm not in forward of removing that section. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I have Mark Bonakista.
Hi, I'm Mark Bonaquista. I'm a resident here of Chino Valley. And I'm not on either side, but I really want this town council to make a decision on what they're going to do with travel trailers on the property. This is the situation that's going on right now. The developmental services and the code enforcement department right now are issuing some citations to some people, but however, they're not issuing citations to other people. I had filed in the past on some different things, and I'd just like to bring up just one that was filed all the way back on 7/15/2020. This was Jose Granello. Jose Granello basically has 5 travel trailers on his property. He is he also operates $1 million commercial business on his property, and he has live-in residents that live in those property that are legal aliens that are on his property to have a place to live so that he can have them to work. Now, the problem that we have here in this town is some people are getting citations and some people aren't. The ironic part on this whole thing is we turn this in to developmental services and it says no violation. I'm not quite sure how it wouldn't be a violation having 5 of those on his property. And I also have probably about 150 other codes that have been sent into the developmental service department. However, they all have no violation on that. So my question to this board is one of 2 things. Is there's derelict of duty going on in code enforcement, that they're not doing their jobs and following up to take care of this issue, or the other problem is that's discrimination. If some people are getting citations for having this on their property and 150 other people are not, such as Jose Granello has 5 on his property and people are living in there, we have to make a decision, or the board, council has to do an investigation to try to figure out exactly what you're going to do. Are you going to keep the regulation there and enforce the law, or are you going to dissolve the resolution? There are a lot of people in this town, unfortunately, do not have places to live because you were just talking about it earlier today. But there is a problem that's going on here and it has to be addressed. And I'm asking this board to do an investigation with the developmental service department to try to find out why we have no violations here in regards to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
And then I have Luke Solano.
My name is Luke Solano. I came up and spoke last week, and it has been brought to my attention that I owe an apology. Anyone who works with children knows that you shouldn't act out when the children act out. And so I owe the council an apology because I didn't know who and what you were. You made that very clear last week by getting up and walking out of the room, which is what children usually do when they don't like what's being said. So I owe you an apology. I didn't treat you properly on that. I also owe the town of Chino Valley an apology because I normally don't let things get under my skin. So that being said, I'm here also on the UDO 4.9.1. We live in a downturn economy. You know, we could argue back and forth. You know, I've been told actually more than once that these statements here in front of the town council, and then, you know, even privately emails and whatnot are brought onto deaf ears. But I think that we can move. I think we can move past that, and I think you guys can hear. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. We live in an extremely downturn economy. When I bought my property in the end of 2019 here in Chino Valley, I looked up the code. The code said I could have up to 6 RVs on my property as long as it was zoned in the right area, and it seemed to be zoned in the right area. That somehow got changed. That's fine. I understand how that works. But we fall into the same situation that Mr. Mark was talking about here. And I understand the other lady, you know, we don't want you know, we don't want our city to look trashy, right? We don't want that. So the easy answer here is to change the code. I'm not for removing it. I'm saying we need to change the code. The code needs to be, you can have RVs on your property, but you have to keep them maintained and tidy. We live in a downturn economy. There's no place for people to go. That's first and foremost. Second, the code needs to be in such a way that it can't be used as a bludgeon. Because I found out that the person who complained about my property is Vice Mayor Perkins, and I don't even know you. And I don't know why in the world you'd complain, because I keep my stuff clean and I keep my property clean, and we're trying to help the community, and we're trying to lift people up and give them a place to stay and a place to live so they're not living in Safeway's parking lot or on the side of the highway, right? We're not running slums around here. We're not getting rich on people. We're trying to help people out, which is what a community is supposed to do. And so that's what I thought Chino Valley was. That's why I moved here in the first place. So take that under advisement, please, and thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, that's all I have.
Was there anybody that wanted to speak that didn't put in a card? All right, we're moving on.
I'd like a chance to respond with the attorney's permission.
Mayor, under state law, at the end of the call to the public, a individual council member can respond to criticism.
Where'd he go?
He's over there back there.
Sir, you are correct. And I made that complaint after seeing multiple RVs and vans and everything else come onto your property right across from the school, the elementary school, and not in violation of the code. So you are correct. I was the one that made the complaint. That's all. Have a good day.
Current events, summaries and reports. Status reports by mayor and council regarding current events. I got this handed to me today. There's going to be a pancake breakfast. I'll just read it. Chino Valley Elks are offering a free pancake breakfast for our veterans in appreciation of their service. We kindly ask that all others pay $5. It's going to be on Saturday, November 12th at the Senior Center. And that's at 1021 Butterfield Road in Chino Valley. And that'll go from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Go ahead.
I do have a group. Okay. On to more exciting news. Gentlemen, could you come forward, please? This goes under current events. It's not necessarily town business, but 6 years ago on this day, we were here. And this is the 2022 Chino Valley Soccer Team Boys State Champions. To recognize them and their efforts. They had an amazing season, 19-1-1, and they one state coming back with a little redemption. So
And Vice Mayor, if I may remind you that they are two-time state champions.
they are there.
correct? They won last year also.
Coach Hawks is here also. So, oh, I just want to say, and Coach Hawks is here also. So, congratulations, gentlemen.
Congratulations. Anything down here? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Coming up on Thursday is November tenth, the United States Marine Corps' 247th birthday. This area, Chino Valley, and this region has the largest destination of disabled and retired checks for the Marine Corps in the world. Hola, simplify.
Eric, you guys?
I'm good.
All right. How about the town manager?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I just want to let our citizens know that the town clerk's office will begin accepting applications to fulfill vacancies on the Planning and Zoning Commission starting November 16th through December 15th. Anyone who's interested can find more information and an application on our website or by directly contacting the town clerk's office. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Consent agenda. All those items listed below are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion. Any council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. Does anybody wish to move anything from the agenda on my right?
No.
Not on the left over here.
Nope.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
I make a motion, we approve. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Consent agenda items A, B, and C is written.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Action items? There is none. Mr. Turner?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
And I'll second.
We're adjourned. Thank y'all.
I had absolutely no issue responding to that.
You should.
That went faster than I
No,
thought.
I had no issue responding.
I know.
Good job.
I just didn't want you to lose.
And you, it's like anything else.
I would
really perfect it, then you're out of here.
That's how bad I hate them. Telling us, why are you shaking? Oh.